Can he beat any of the elite fighters at 140 right now? Any champion who he's called out and said he wants to fight anybody, specifically Subriel Matias? And the answer to that is an emphatic no. Absolutely not. And in the words of good old JR,
Hey, look at this! We got some problems here! We got some problems here!
We have some legitimate problems if we see Hitchens go up against any of the top champions, and specifically Matias. If Hitchens goes up against Matias, we are looking at the end of a very promising career, because if he faces Hitchens in terms of Subriel Matias will destroy this brother. Subriel Matias is going to be a horror. It's going to be a horror show. It is literally the worst matchup possible for Hitchens to have to face as his career is coming up. There's no way he can beat him. There's no way he can beat T.O. Definitely can't beat Devin Haney. And sure enough, with what we saw Isaac Cruz do to Rolly, though we know Rolly is of a fighter, that type of style versus what we saw Lemos do, Isaac Cruz versus Hitchens, that's going to end in KO. That is a refined infighter versus somebody like Hitchens, who, if you force him into that realm of we're turning this into a fight, he doesn't know what to do. He can't compete because his perfection isn't backed by power, and his defense falls apart, especially when you're stronger than him. But the main thing is with Subriel Matias, there's no way that Hitchens can win. Hitchens will get destroyed. Hitchens might just be forced to shorten his career if he goes and fights against Subriel Matias. Subriel Matias and that relentless work rate, coupled with the outright raw strength, coupled with the ability to take whatever Hitchens will be able to throw at him, because Hitchens has no power. That is the biggest thing about Hitchens. His lack of power is a big deterrent for his ability to win a lot of these big time matchups, due to that being essentially a weakness. Because if you can't threaten anybody with your power, you got to be perfect in everything else. We've seen Devin Haney, when he was weight drained, didn't have power at 135. His boxing ability was enough to be able to still outclass opponents. Floyd Mayweather, his boxing ability. Napoleon Loche, his boxing ability. Those types of things can overwhelm, or rather overshadow, your inability to actually have pop when you go and fight somebody. That is what we were expecting, and what we have to expect from people that don't have the crack to make people respect them. Caleb Plant, another brother, doesn't have a whole lot of power. More than Richardson. Hitchens, but doesn't have a whole lot of power in that division of super middleweight. His boxing ability, however, is something that can still beat the majority of people in that division, because he's legitimately that skilled. But you have to be at a very elite level. And we just saw Hitchens show that he's not at that level yet. He is good, but it is a straightforward way and a go-to plan. There is a go-to plan to be able to get him out of that quote-unquote perfection that really isn't perfection, and make him into a vulnerable fighter. You go up against Subriel Matias, you are going to get whooped, destroyed, beat in a way that you've never felt before. Put in a situation where it is legitimately life or death. And I don't say that lightly, because we've seen this man kill somebody, Maxim Dadashev, sadly before. It got overshadowed that this brother literally put somebody out, sadly. And with all respect to the warrior that was Maxim Dadashev, it got overlooked and got recently put up to light. Oh my gosh, this man now is a champion. He's got a legitimate body on his record, doing the same thing that Deontay Wilder at one point in his career said that he dreamed of having at one point. He actually has that. There is legitimate life or death stakes, not just when you get in the ring in general, but against this specific opponent in Matias. It is not a game. And Hitchens is not ready for that type of war. He's not prepared for that. He can't win against Subriel, let alone against any of the elites. He is not at that level. He is not strong enough. He doesn't have the discipline, technique to be able to keep that same defensive posture and the accuracy to a volume that will be able to outmatch anybody. He can't do it. He can get forced into a war. He can be bullied into a situation that he is uncomfortable in. He can be caught. He can be hurt. He should have gotten a point deducted for the constant clinching that he was doing in this fight. Like we've seen with Devin Haney in the past, that I was very much angry about, because you can box and you can use the clinch to your advantage. Absolutely. But if you're clinching all night long, there's got to be some form of point deduction. Something's got to go. Hitchens wasn't clinching to reposition, wasn't fighting on the inside in the clinch. He was only clinching to survive. And you can best believe if Hitchens tries that against Matias or Isaac Cruz or any of the champions, they will not only not allow the clinch to happen, they will fight out and they will catch you as you're escaping. That is definitely what will happen. You won't get away with it. You won't get away with it. You're going to get destroyed. Hitchens is not ready for that elite level. He's not. He is not. Because he couldn't keep his own composure. And he couldn't keep his own discipline. And not get put into a slugfest. This is all respect to Lemos. Lemos did exactly what he needed to do. He cracked the code to make the perfect, quote unquote, perfectionist unperfect. Make the perfectionist imperfection. Not saying that Hitchens is a perfect fighter, but the way that he fights, similar to what we've seen from Devin Haney and other accurate punchers, the fundamentals are incredibly sound. Absolutely. Get him out of that, though, we have a problem. Especially when he can't hurt you. And of the elite champions, or champions in general, he can't hurt anybody. There's no way he can win. At this stage, there's no way he can be a champion. With the current roster of champions, there is no way Hitchens can win. There's none. Either he will get knocked out or bullied by every single champion. I dare say he'll get knocked out by every champion if he fights him. He'll get knocked out by Devin Haney. Yes, he will. Isaac Cruz is going to destroy him. Subriel Matias is going to make him question this career choice if he faces him. Subriel Matias will beat him so bad, Hitchens will question his career choice. And then Teofimo Lopez, we already know, will get him out of there. There's no champion that he can actually win against with what he showed in this fight. This was supposed to be not just a show of your ability, but a stepping stone to the next level. And you did not pass the test. You failed. You robbed somebody that should have an opportunity. And you now going to be put in a situation where you are a deer in headlights. This moment and this stage and the opponents are too big for you to compete against. Too good for you to compete against. Again, I love watching Richardson Hitchens, but I respect the ability. I see the solid foundation that's there, and it's great to see him grow. But he's not ready yet. He's not. And he shouldn't be seen as somebody that is a real threat to anybody. Anybody who faces Hitchens is going to be easy pickings on the side of the champion. Because he will get demolished. Because they have everything that he is vulnerable to. Have a reach comparable to him, and or if shorter than him, they got the speed and the power to hurt him. And the boxing ability that he still, with how good he is right now, with respect, he is good. They're better. No, there's no way he can win. Hitchens did not deserve this. The judging was terrible. Not deserve that win. And is now put in a situation where he is a deer in headlights. A lamb to the slaughter to any of these major champions at 140 pounds. He can't compete. Richardson Hitchens can't compete. Not yet. And a loss can potentially evolve him. Great. But the loss is going to come. Oh, it will come. Because he isn't ready for this level. He is not ready. Not ready at all.